So may I audible properly?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we'll start our uh, today's topic, and that is nothing but common source MOSFET amplifier. Okay. Uh, See, yesterday we already discussed about the biasing arrangement for that MOSFET. So in this circuit diagram, you are now well familiar with what is this VDD or what is the purpose of that VDD. Then R1, R2, this one as R2, then RD, drain resistance and source resistance. Remaining components I added to this circuit to act as an amplifier. So it is the purpose of that remaining components that also I will be want to explain in detail. So don't worry about it. Only the things what you have to remember. See, we are calling this circuit as an amplifier, or when we should call it as an amplifier. We are considering somewhat input signal as a 100 millivolt peak sinusoidal signal, or it is a time varying signal that is of 100 millivolt peak with 1 kilohertz frequency. So first of all, we want to show that input signal, how it will be want to look, or how we can plot it. So this is nothing but our input signal, which is sinusoidal in nature, and its peak voltage is 100 millivolts, positive peak, as well as that negative peak will be of minus 100 millivolt, again peak, so that we can call this signal as a 200 millivolt peak to peak signal, right? But at this stage, we will call only in terms of peak, right? Then there are two capacitors, coupling capacitors. One is used to couple that input signal to the gate terminal of that transistor, and another coupling capacitor which is connected to the drain and load resistance. Means whatever output we will want to obtain, that will be through this output coupling capacitor, and there will be a flop current through this RL, and that's why there will be a drop, voltage drop, of which we are calling it as a output voltage VO, right? So these two capacitors are used for coupling purpose, or why there is need of coupling. Remember, whatever input we are applying at this node, there is a DC signal, right? That DC signal is formed by R1 and R2. Yesterday we discussed it during practical also. We check it. So to avoid the mixing of that DC signal in the source, this input coupling capacitor is used. As well as we can say, if there are some DC components present in this AC signal, it should not get passed towards the transistor. So to block that DC component, this input coupling capacitor is used. How it will be going to block that DC, that thing already we discussed during our prerequisites. That capacitor offers infinite reactance for the DC components, as the reactance of that capacitor, that is XC, is nothing but 1 upon 2 pi FC, right? And for DC component, as X is 0, we can say the reactance offered by the capacitor, it will be infinite. That means for DC component, it will be going to act as an open circuit, while for AC component, it will be going to act as a closed circuit, right? And that's why we are saying these two capacitors are used to block the DC components. Similarly, to the output side, as we are calling this one as an amplifier. Amplifier means what? This input, small or weak input signal, we have to amplify in terms of its amplitude. And that's why we are calling it as an amplifier, right? That input signal is of only 100 millivolts peak signal. How much we can obtain, that also we will go on to discuss. Then again, one more capacitor you will observe, which is placed in parallel to this RS. This is known as a bypass capacitor, and purpose of this capacitor is to improve the gain of this amplifier. How it will be going to improve the gain, that also I will be going to explain in detail, but at this stage, only remember these two input-output coupling capacitors are used to block the DC components, and this capacitor CS, which is placed in parallel to RS, it is known as a bypass capacitor, which is used to improve the gain of that amplifier circuit, right? Now, I will be going to ask some questions. Suppose, as per our previous considerations and design circuit, again, I will be going to prefer this VDD as a 10 volt DC voltage. See the difference between these two. This is a source voltage, DC voltage source, 10 volt. It is used for the working purpose of this amplifier circuit. And what is this V in? This is nothing but input time varying signal which we have to amplify, right? So don't get mixed or don't mix these two. Whenever I will go on to ask what is the input, don't say that VDD as a 10 volt. Input is what? Input is 100 millivolt peak signal with 1 kilohertz frequency. So the same signal I tried to show here. This is of 100 millivolt and its frequency is 1K. That means how much will be the capital T of this signal? Capital T is nothing but the time taken by one complete cycle. This is nothing but T, and it is the reciprocal of F. Therefore, here we can say that T equals to 1 by F, as we are considering this signal is of 1 kilohertz. That means we can say this capital T, it will be of 1 millisecond. During 1 millisecond, that one cycle, that signal will going on to complete. That is the, is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Everything is okay, na? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So that input signal is considered as 100 millivolt peak signal with 1 kilohertz. That means that signal will go on to complete its one cycle within 1 millisecond. That is the meaning, right? Okay. Now I will go on to ask few questions. Suppose my input signal is at zero potential. Input signal is at zero potential. We can call it as T0. Suppose that is at origin. That input signal have the amplitude at 0 volt, right? How much will be the gate voltage present at this gate terminal of this MOSFET here? Consider our previous discussion and previous circuit. This R1 is of 10 mega, R2 is of 2.7 mega, RS is of 470 ohm, and RD as 1.8K. Right? We will go on to continue with the same, because practically also yesterday we verified it. So my first question is, at T equals to T0, that is at origin, input signal will have the amplitude at 0 volt, right? How much will be the gate voltage? Be fast. Will it be 0 or non-zero?
Non-zero.
Non-zero, but how much?
2.1.
Yes, it is 2.1, right? Now, the second question is, what is the nature of that 2.1? Is it AC voltage or DC voltage? Is
AC.
it what?
Yes.
DC.
Yes, it will be DC voltage. Why? Because what is the source of that 2.1? Source of that 2.1 is VDD, that is 10 volt, right now? And that 2.1 volt, it is obtained by this voltage divider, R1 and R2. Yesterday already we discussed, right? Now, whenever that input signal will be at 0, that is at T equals to T0, my next question is, how much will be the output voltage over here? Current flowing through RD, it will be non-zero, right now? DC current. I think we consider it as a 2 milliamperes DC current in the absence of input signal or when that input signal is at 0 level, right? My question is, how much will be the voltage at this node? Or in general, we can call it as a VO. It will be 0 because even if that ID flows, which is a non-zero, but that ID is DC current and this capacitor, it will not going on to pass it over here, right? That current will going on to flow like this only. Are you agree with this? And that's why whenever input is at 0 level, output voltage will also 0, remember. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we'll consider another time period, that is T1, at which that input signal, it reaches to its peak value. Okay. That input signal is going at its peak value at T equals to T1, right? At T equals to T0, that Vg was equals to how much? As per your answer, it was 2.1. At T equals to T1, that means already a fixed 2.1 volt is available, which is formed by that voltage divider R1 and R2 by the source of VDD as a 10 volts, that 2.1 volt is fixed DC voltage, right? On which we are overlapping this 100 millivolt peak signal at T equals to T1. Are you agree with this? So at T equals to T1, that VG, it will be equals to how much? At 2.1 by that voltage divider plus 100 milli. Are you agree with this? So this VG, it will become 2.2. 100 milli means 0.1 volt. At T equals to T1, how much will be the gate voltage? It will become 2.2 volts. Are you agree with this?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, next time period we'll consider, that is T2, at which that signal again goes, that input signal again goes to zero level at T equals to T2. Is it visible properly? Whatever I am showing, at T equals to T2, that input signal again comes back to its zero level. Again, my question is, how much will be the value of VG? Gate voltage will become at this node where the gate terminal is connected. How much will be VG? It will again become 2.1 volts. Yes or no? Because that 2.1, it is fixed, which is formed by R1 and R2 as per that voltage divider, right? Now the next time period we'll consider as T3, at which that input signal goes to its negative peak. That input signal reaches to its negative peak at T equals to T3, right? Over here. Now the question is, at T equals to T3, how much will be the value of this VG? Just write.
2 volt.
Yes, very nice, very nice. Because at T equals to T3, our node voltage is fixed 2.1 by that voltage divider plus how much? Minus 100 milli. Right now? And that's why the answer will be equals to 2 volts. Correct? Again, at T equals to T4, again that signal will come back to its, that input signal will come back to its zero level. So at T4, how much will be the value of VG? Again, it will become 2.1 volts. Right? Now just imagine, can you plot it? That signal waveform, voltage gate signal waveform, can you plot it? It will remain constant or time varying. Now I have to plot that gate voltage waveform. It will become somewhat like this. Are you agree with this? This is nothing but 2.2 volts. This is nothing but 2.1 volt, and this is nothing but 2 volts. Is it visible? Whatever the signal waveform I shown, this is nothing but for what? VG, gate voltage. Is it visible? Yes or no? Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So are you agree with this waveform, whatever I shown?
Sir.
As per this logic, by considering various time periods from T0 to T1, T1 to T2, T2 to T3, and T3 to again T4. By the application of that input signal, 100 millivolt peak input signal, what will be the effect on that node voltage, which is formed by R1 and R2, where the gate terminal of the transistor is connected. So that gate voltage, that is VG, it will become somewhat time varying. If or whenever there is no input signal, what will be the nature of VG? It will remain a straight line of how much amplitude? That is 2.1. In the absence of input signal, this is the waveform for VG. This is nothing but your 2.1, and it will remain constant. Why it will remain constant? Because for that 2.1, the source is VDD, which is a constant 10 volt. R1 and R2 are also constant. And that's why the voltage drop across R2, that is the node voltage, as per that voltage divider rule, it will remain constant. Right? At the same node, what we are doing? We applied a sine wave of 100 millivolt peak. By that sine wave, that DC voltage or the gate voltage, it will become time varying like this. Again, one more thing you will observe, this is not a sine wave. VG is not a sine wave. Sine means what? That signal contains positive values as well as negative values as well as zero value. But this VG, it never goes to zero, remember. It varies from 2.1 to 2.2, 2.2 to again 2.1 over here, and from 2.1 to again it will goes to just 2 volts, and from 2 volts again it will come back to 2.1, and later on this cycle will get repeat whenever that input is there of 100 millivolt peak. Are you agree with this, or do you have any doubt or any problem? You can ask. These things you might not have studied during your previous year, and the same things are applicable for your BJT amplifier also, remember. But instead of considering input voltage to that BJT, you have to consider the input current, because BJT is a current control device, and that IB, input current, also gets changed like this, but it never becomes zero. If that input current becomes zero for BJT, then that BJT will be able to enter into its cutoff region. Similarly, whenever this VG, it will get down to 0 volts, or we can say equals to its or below its threshold voltage, MOSFET also will going on to turn off, and it will be able to work into cutoff region. But being an amplifier, as per the DC load line, what we discussed, the transistor, it should remain in that saturation region. Then and then it will go on to amplify that input signal faithfully or properly, or as per our requirements. Is it okay now?
Yes, sir.
Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So shall I remove this calculation? Or if you want, okay, no problem. I will go on to again upload this video also at my YouTube channel, and you can access it through my Google Classroom. So no need to take snapshot and all that. Okay. Now the next, I will go on to check what will be the effect on whatever current is flowing through this RD. We will call it as ID, drain current. See, again, whenever that input signal will be absent, or in the absence of input signal, that is sine wave, in the absence of that sine wave, what will be the nature of ID? The nature of ID also will remain constant like this. This is the waveform for ID, right now. But when in the absence of input signal, because in the absence of input signal, there will be a fixed gate voltage of 2.1. By that 2.1 as a fixed voltage, whatever current will be able to flow through that device, that will be fixed, or we can say constant current. And that current, I think yesterday we considered it as a 2 milliampere, and practically we are getting somewhat closer to 2. So we'll consider as a 2 milliamp as a constant current, right? After the application of this input signal, that is 100 millivolts, this is our input signal. After application of that input signal, what is the effect on gate voltage of that transistor? It becomes time varying like this. So when gate voltage will become time varying, what will be the effect of that gate voltage on the output drain current? Will it remain constant as 2 milliamps, or it also will get time varying? What do you think? Are you getting my question? By the application of input signal, as I told, that gate voltage, it becomes time varying, right now, as shown over here. Now the effect of that time varying gate voltage on the drain current. Drain current will remain constant as 2.1 milli DC current, or it will become time varying current. Just let me know. No one? So what you studied then? By changing gate voltage, drain current remains constant or it also changes. We already studied the transfer characteristic of MOSFET. I already taught.
Time varying.
Okay, that current also will become time varying. So be fast. That drain current, it will not going on to remain as a constant 2 milliamps. It also will going on to change from 2 milli to somewhat large value or above 2 milli, and later on, whenever that input signal will come back to 0, drain current also will become 2 milli. That is constant. But again, one more thing you have to remember here also, that drain current never goes to 0. It only will going on to fluctuate between its maximum to minimum value, and its moderate value, it will be equals to 2.1, right? And that's why I plotted that x-axis below the signal. I do not show the signal on x-axis, remember. While the first signal I shown it on x-axis, as it is a AC signal, sine wave. But gate voltage waveform, it is not a sine wave. It is a time varying signal. It never goes to 0, right? Similarly, drain current also will become time varying, but again will never goes to its 0 value, right? Now, see, whenever that input signal will be 0, already I explained how much will be the output voltage. It will be 0 because whatever current component will be there going through this RD or through this transistor, that current component will be DC in nature. And whenever we will going to apply the input signal, that current component will become time varying, right? So for this time varying current component, this capacitor will go on to easily pass it through RL, right? Now just remember, at t equals to t0, whatever current is there, that current will have only DC components, and that's why capacitor will go on to block it, and that's why no output voltage we will go on to obtain. And later on, at t equals to t1, that current component, that ID will have DC values as well as somewhat AC components, and that AC component, it will get passed through this capacitor, and then it will go on to flow through RL. It is like this, right? Or we are measuring, simply we are measuring the voltage at the drain with respect to that common line, or we can say with respect to source, right? Okay, again, one more thing I want to ask you. In the absence of input signal, the resistance offered by the device, or the resistance between drain to source of this transistor, will be infinite or finite. When that Vin is equals to 0, I am asking about RC. Small RC, it is nothing but the channel resistance. Already yesterday also we discussed on that. This is the channel resistance, or the resistance offered between that drain to source. Just apply your previous logic, construction working of MOSFET. This RC will be infinite or finite?
Infinite.
Infinite.
That means ID will be 0. In the absence of input
Yes.
signal, in the absence of input signal, this V in, don't mix it with VDD. Remember, this is source. This is source. It is at 10 volt. We are not changing that VDD. It is kept constant as a 10 volt. Our discussion is related to only input signal. Whenever input signal is 0, if I remove that input signal, my question is, how much will be the value of ID? You are saying RC will be equals to infinite. And when it will be infinite, then the current flowing through that channel will be 0. How much ID we got yesterday during practical? We are not considering any input, na? Are we getting it as a 0?
No.
No, sir.
That current was quiescent drain
2.
current, right now? That is 2 milliampere. So here, why that current is flowing as a 2 milliamp through this device? Because that channel is not providing infinite resistance. Remember, the resistance offered by that channel is finite. Are you agree with this? So this RC will not be infinite. This will be finite. Whenever input is 0. Input means which input? Input signal source, V in. But remaining components, DC source is already available. That means the transistor, in the absence of input signal, where that transistor is working, it is working at the center of load line. Because VG is not 0 or VG is not equals to VT. Are you agree with this? VG is equals to VGSQ. And that's why the current flowing through the transistor, it will not be 0. It will be non-zero. And how much? It will be quiescent drain current, IDQ. Right? Now, at T equals to, or we can say at T equals to T0, that input is at 0 level, right now. Now, second condition, I will take that V in is equals to VP, peak voltage, positive. That is at T equals to T1. RC will be. What do you think? First of all, will it be infinite or finite again?
Finite.
It will be finite because our VG is non-zero. Right now, how much is the value of VG at T equals to T1 for this time period? It was
2.2.
Yes, very good. That VG becomes 2.2 right now. That means we are increasing the positive gate voltage. And when gate voltage becomes more and more positive, what is the effect on the density of the channel? It increases. It attracts more and more minority charge carriers, right? The density of that channel charge carriers increases, means what is the effect on the resistance offered by that channel? It decreases or increases? Not getting?
Decreases.
Yes. Again, it will be finite, but less than that of previous case. Right? Finite and less as compared to first case. Again, third condition, when that V in again goes to 0, that is at T equals to T2, this RC will become finite as that of first case, like this. And last condition, I will take, not last, second last, that V in equals to minus of Vp, that is at T equals to T3. Is it visible to all? What is, or where is T0, where is T1, T2, T3 and T4? Is it visible? Or if not properly visible, just consider T0, it is at origin, T1, that is related to the positive peak, T2, again on the x-axis, that means the positive half cycle gets complete, then T3, that is related to negative peak, and T4, again that negative peak complete its cycle and come back to x-axis, right? If not visible properly. The same thing I shown here again. Now the question is, what will be the effect on RC? Will it be same as that of first, third condition? Because first and third conditions are same. See this one. In both cases, that input goes to 0, right? But in second condition, that input goes to positive peak. Now, which condition we are considering? Fourth condition, that V in, it goes to negative peak. What will be the effect on RC? First of all, infinite or finite?
Finite.
Again,
Infinite.
don't say infinite, it will be finite because at t equals to T3, how much is the gate voltage? Gate voltage becomes, that is Vg becomes 2 volts, right? That Vg becomes 2 volts, which is greater than Vt of this transistor, right? And whenever it will be greater than Vt, the channel resistance, it will be finite. So don't say infinite, okay? So the channel resistance, that RC will be finite. Okay. Now, the question is it less than second case or greater than all first three cases?
Greater than all cases.
Yes, very nice. It will be finite, but greater than all first three cases because here Vg, gate voltage, it is lowest. In first case, that Vg is 2.1. In second case, that Vg becomes 2.2. And in next case, whatever we are considering, that means whenever that V in reaches to its negative peak, that Vg becomes only 2 volts. So it is the lowest gate voltage, but not 0. Greater than Vt, but lowest one, right? So that Vg, as it becomes 2 volts, the channel resistance will be finite, but it will be somewhat more than that of previous cases, right? Now, simply, I will go on to replace this transistor in terms of this RC. This is nothing but RC. We are taking the output voltage at this drain terminal. We are interested in VDS, voltage drop across drain to source. That is nothing but we are calling it as a output, VO. This is nothing but our external connected RD. This is nothing but VDD. And whatever current is flowing, that current is time varying in nature, that ID. The same current will go on to flow through this RC, right? Now, whenever input signal will reach to its positive peak, the channel resistance will be minimum, right? And the voltage drop across that minimum resistive channel, it will be minimum because voltage drop is nothing but what? Current flowing into the resistance of that channel, right? Are you agree with this? See, whenever we have to discuss about this VDS, VDS will be equal to how much? First of all, that VDS, it will not be constant. It also will become time varying because whatever ID will go on to flow through this transistor drain current, that becomes time varying, this one. This is the waveform for what? ID, drain current. Whenever such type of time varying current will go on to flow through the channel, and which condition we are considering? At t equals to T1, that input signal, it reaches to its peak value. At that time, the channel resistance becomes lowest, right? Because this is the maximum value of gate voltage. That is 2.2 volts, right? So the channel resistance will be minimum. And when resistance will be minimum, drop across that channel, that is nothing but, simply I can write here, ID into RC, that will be minimum. VDS will be minimum, right? So you will observe, or if you want to plot it, then that output signal, it will look somewhat like this. See, there will be 180-degree phase shift between input signal and the obtained output voltage or output signal. This is nothing but our VO. And why it happens? Due to that resistance provided by the channel. Whenever input is at positive peak, resistance becomes minimum. And that's why voltage drop across that channel will be minimum. Right? Whenever input signal goes to negative peak, the resistance offered by that channel is maximum, because VG becomes minimum, that is 2 volts only. And as the resistance becomes maximum of that RC, drop across it also becomes maximum. So see, whenever at T3 input goes to negative peak, the obtained output voltage is maximum. Whenever input voltage is at positive peak, the obtained output voltage is at negative peak or minimum, right? And here, by using CRO, we can measure the peak voltage. Suppose this peak voltage is of, we can say, 3 volts. And over here, it is of 3 volts. Correct? Positive peak of output voltage is how much? 3 volts. And negative peak is also 3 volts. That means we can say it is 6 volt peak to peak signal. Is it? We can write it as 6 volt peak to peak. Or this input, we can call it as 200 millivolt peak to peak. Are you getting it? Yes or no? Output voltage?
Yes, sir.
Output voltage is 6. We consider that peak voltage as a 3 volt. How much it is that we will go on to observe practically. See, here for understanding purpose, I taken that that output, obtained output voltage as 3 volt peak. That means it is of 6 volt peak to peak. Input we consider as 100 millivolt peak. That means we can take it as 200 millivolt peak to peak, right? So if we want to find out the gain of this amplifier, what is gain in generally? That is nothing but output divided by input, right? This is the gain. So in this case, how much is the output? It is 6 volt divided by how much input we applied? Input is 200 milli, right? So just find out it, how much it will be. It will be 30.
30.
Right now? No unit, because voltage divided by voltage, output voltage divided by input voltage. So for gain, there is no unit. So that gain of this amplifier is of 30. Means what? This amplifier circuit, our design amplifier circuit, can amplify that input signal 30 times, or the obtained output voltage, it will be 30 times greater than applied input. Means this weak signal, which we consider as a 200 millivolt only peak to peak, it gets converted to how much? 6 volt peak to peak, a large signal. And that's why we are calling this circuit as amplifier. That's all. So are you getting about the basic working of this amplifier circuit?
Yes, sir.
Or do you have any problem? Any doubt? You can ask. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Or if no, then we will stop, because our time is already over. So we'll stop here, and the remaining parameters of this amplifier, first parameter today we covered, and that is gain. Gain is nothing but output voltage divided by input voltage. So remaining parameters we will discuss from the next lecture.